Welcome back, brothers, to the 801st Legion podcast, Star Wars Legion podcast for you, the community. Got a lot to talk about, some new things. Might be a little bit shorter one, but it'll definitely be a fun one. All right, punch it, Kyle.
Hello there.
You must unlearn
Dark
what you
side
have
of the
learned.
Force is a pathway to many abilities.
Red,
Some
green, or
considered
red, green, red.
I know.
You know what you'll do?
Sorry about the mess.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you.
General Kenobi.
Let's rearrange some architecture.
Is it possible to learn this power?
I thank you for your hospitality.
Twice the pride, double the fall.
Impressive.
I'll show you the dark side.
And we're back. How's it going, Kyle?
Oh, it
Good to
is
see you.
phenomenal,
Oh!
if you do say so yourself.
I do say so myself, so.
No, it's been a weird week, I'll be honest, but it's been good. The community has been really good to the store lately. Lots of time to paint minis. In case you guys are under a rock, we do have this pandemic, quademic thing going on.
Syncodemic.
Cinco de Meco. Yeah. No, it's been a weird week. Last week especially was just, we have the corona thing that is escalating ever more. And then last week we also had the earthquakes here in Utah.
That was a weird thing.
Yeah.
Dude, how was that for you? What was that experience like?
It's just like shelter, or like go inside and stay safe. Also, you're dead if you're inside. like I'm just glad it was, like, I know it was 5.7, 5.1, one of those two. It was fives. Fives, huh?
Echo. Fives. Earthquake, yeah.
99. Anyways, no, but yeah, it was in the fives range, and it's not the biggest earthquake in the world, but it shook quite a bit. And the aftershocks were still pretty good. Like the next day we had a 4 something.
Dude, we had aftershocks for like 2 or 3 days.
I just felt one yesterday, like just 2.1, but it was on the radar. Like I've been paying attention whenever I feel like, because I'm in that phase where I'm like, was that just like anxiety about it, or was that like an actual earthquake I felt? And so like whenever I'm like, no, I'm certain that's an earthquake, I'll look it up and check just to make sure. So. And a lot of them have been, like aftershocks, like 2 to 3.0,
Yeah.
I think they don't actually report anything below a 2.1 or something like that.
I think so, because at that point, it's just negligible.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing is...
the wind could have blown you.
Yeah. It could be that. It's so funny with the earthquakes, too, because, like, my dogs...
Oh, yeah.
The 2 dogs at home, they're the kind of dogs that bark at everything. You get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. One's downstairs in his kennel.
Uh-huh.
The other one is in one of the bedrooms. And they just start going off. Like, you can't leave your bedroom to go to the bathroom at night without them going off. I get up early for work. This would happen like 7 a.m. I literally sit down at my computer. Earthquake happens, not a sound. Mailman comes by at 10. Crazy. I'm like, where was this earlier? They just slept right through the earthquake. Meanwhile, I'm down there just crapping my pants.
Oh, no.
Freaking out. Yeah. But,
that was
it
such
was
a weird
interesting.
situation. That's like the last thing you want when you're in a pandemic, like an earthquake, really?
Oh my gosh.
Like, give me any other natural disaster.
Right, and on top of that, there's like the literally the locusts going through Africa and the Middle East. As an oldest child, I'm starting to be a little worried for my well-being.
I have 4 older brothers, so I'm 5th in line to die. I'm good.
You're good.
Oh, man. No, but we both hope you guys are super safe, being protected, cleanliness, and hopefully nothing happened while the earthquakes, because I've seen a couple stores be affected. Like, for example, our store, I had to show up like 45 minutes early because I was like, yep, things are broken. Those glass cabinets, they fell.
Done.
Surprisingly, the things I thought would break did not, and all that was on the ground was probably about good 10% of our stock was on the ground, which doesn't seem like a lot, but that's like a good 100 to 120 games.
It's a good number.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because like thinking about everything as well. Like there was a big earthquake in where was that? I know it was Vanuatu or Malaysia.
Yeah.
As well, a big one as well.
Like an 8 point. Yeah, it was pretty big.
But yeah, stay safe, guys. Please practice social distancing.
Yeah.
I know it sucks. Just please do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be so much better for everybody if we can just push through this, take our licks while we can, and hopefully get out of this a little bit quicker.
Yeah, as of right now, this recording, we are not in total lockdown or shelter in place, but other states are, and I don't suspect after this whole missionary coming home fiasco, if you've heard, we won't get into too much detail, but there was a huge gathering in Salt Lake of over like 1,200 people, which was really sad to hear about, because now those people that were abroad are coming home, and now that if they had corona, or if anyone in there had corona, now it's spreading,
Yeah, and
like you could pass it to a carrier who won't get symptoms, but they'll pass it to another carrier, and then they pass it to someone that could get fatally, like completely fatal.
That's the whole point. But like,
I was gonna say fatally killed, but I'm like, that is
a fatality.
Fatality. Ooh.
Yeah, like we're obviously making light of it, but because it is a serious situation, you gotta take a little bit of lightness with it. But
like if you're too serious about it, you kind of serious about. You have to be serious about the situation, but serious about how you conduct yourself. You don't have to be.
Well,
like you can throw jokes in there to keep the lightheartedness going.
Yeah, they had a psychologist actually do a meeting for us at work, an hour-long meeting talking about this, because it's easy to get into your head about these things and get that panic point. Yeah. Also, for anybody who's in Germany or outside of the U.S., like especially Europe, like you guys been hit real hard. Yeah. Like, let us know how you're doing. Stay safe, please. Like,
seriously.
I know it sounds dumb saying our thoughts and prayers go out to you, but like literally,
they really do.
They really do. Like our hearts go out to you guys. Be safe. I've got a cousin who's in Germany right now. Hopefully she'll be safe as well. Just do what you can to protect those around you and yourself.
Yeah, I can't add any more. I think that's just well said. So moving on, we have been normally recapping our Clone Wars thoughts. So we're just going to quickly give our thoughts on that because there's not much to talk about.
Oh my gosh, I think that just about sums it up for Kyle. I thought it was an okay episode. 6 out of 10. I'll be straight. Like good, not great. I'm excited for more. But I don't really want to talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts because, gosh, you had some heated words about this week's episode.
Well, I just thought it was stupid. Like it wasn't like. Don't get me wrong. Ahsoka was great as always. The new characters were okay. It's just the situations was like, oh no, bad droids. Oh no, and then then the music was off tonally. I felt like this like lighthearted like dancing music going on while Ahsoka's beating down some people, and I'm just like, what is going on? I don't know. Like, and also nothing really of note happened during that episode. Like, and you may say like, well, they're just building up. It's like, dude, are you telling me that nothing with the Bad Batch arc didn't start off like amazing? Like, it started off like with a heavy punch, like Echo is alive,
Well, I feel you're 100% right, and I feel like that's a big part of the beginning of arcs when they're like, the narrator comes on and goes, "This is what's happening." Like he gets you to speed so you can jump right into it. I feel like that didn't happen too much. I think my favorite part of the episode was just seeing different sides of Coruscant. Like, you know what I mean?
Did you catch that reference too?
The 1313?
1313, yeah.
Well, what's funny is in the Asajj book, Dark Disciple, she works on 1313. Like, the level 1313 is like a big thing if you look in like the extended universe and canonical stuff. But I thought it was so cool to see that. I thought it was cool seeing like the underground lake at the very end. Just I thought was the best part. But I think you said this, and I have to agree with what you said. The episode felt, not to say Resistance is a bad show, but it felt like Resistance.
Yeah.
Whereas Rebels and even Clone Wars have this thing where they start out feeling like a kid show. Yeah, they are made for kids, but by the very end,
they're made for families.
They are families. Yeah. There you go. But by the very end, they feel like there's some more intense themes going on.
Right.
This feel like it did regress back to like season 1, season 2 feeling, which isn't the worst. But
I wonder if that's just because we're about to get super dark.
Yeah, that could be a good.
Like it's highly likely we're gonna see some Order 66 from Ahsoka's perspective. Like, highly likely.
Well, what's interesting is with the number of episodes they've kind of leaked what the next episodes coming up are with their titles. The fight with Maul happens like 2 episodes before the end of the series.
Right. Okay.
Which is weird.
But, so we're getting we're getting Ahsoka's arc, right? But then we're also getting an arc where everybody's together, right?
No, that's like 1 episode.
Oh, okay.
I guess an interview they did with Dave Filoni, they said that there was like this wasn't supposed to be the last season.
Right.
But they had like 3 or 4 story arcs for her left. and they picked like 2 or 3 that they wanted to talk about in this season. So this is one. The Siege of Mandalore will be another, and we don't really quite know what the last one will be.
Interesting.
Or if there even is another one, which may not be the last one. It might be the second to last one.
Interesting.
But there is apparently 2 or 3 stories they want to tell with her.
Well, and they're still going to tell those in a certain fashion, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like I think you were saying that they announced the comics for the Clone Wars.
Yeah, what are they? It's like the Clone Wars Tales or Tales of the Clone Wars or something like that.
I hadn't heard much about this, so I'm glad you brought it up.
I just heard about it today.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
But that looks good. Yeah, I just wasn't super thrilled with this episode, but I'm not gonna say it sucked. It was just like a solid 4 out of 10. It was below average.
Agreed.
So. Anyways, moving on, we are going to actually bypass a lot of this, fluff for this episode just because we have so much to talk about with one topic in particular. Vital Assets was 100% shown off. The 5th Trooper boys over there did a wonderful job at showcasing and doing a demo game and just showing off all the last couple. I think just one last card was yet to be shown.
Yeah, I think so. There's just a couple more cards, maybe 2.
So should we just go for it? Like we should just go. Let's start with the deployments. Let's just go one by one. Hemmed In was the one that was revealed, and that's probably like, I think that's the most interesting deployment that we've seen out of this pack.
It's interesting. I feel like the deployments are so key. There's a lot of this that is very interesting. I think the deployments and the objectives are what catch my eye the most. But so I have to agree. But I don't know if it's the most interesting in my mind. Does that make sense?
At least as far as the deployments, I would say that. But
I think you're probably right.
Which one do you think is because Hemmed In, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's like an asymmetric, like they pretty much took a chunk out of the bottom half and then took that as blue player, and then what was ever left, they put that to the top and as red player. And it'll be in our thumbnail, so you'll at least have an idea. And I'm sure you've seen it if you're on our Discord or anything like that. But it looks like a super interesting deployment. We actually tried this today in a game.
What's funny, just a side note, I think we have tried and tested everything except fortified positions. I think we've done everything but that.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it's true. We indeed have. Because when they first showed off back at LVO time, they showed off like bombing run, rollout, and something else. War Weary, maybe? I can't remember.
I think it was War Weary, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was because that's why we were like, oh, Wookiees are pretty good with Indomitable. Yeah. So, anyways, moving on to the next deployment, it was Danger Close, which we have talked about a little bit before because it has been shown off. But this is very much advanced positions without the scout, in my opinion. Just even closer. Like the scout is built into the deployment.
Yeah, and it's interesting because this kind of like splits the board in half, left and right.
Yeah,
it really does, and it's cool that you can deploy at range 3 of each other. It does give a huge advantage for people that do have range 4.
Yeah,
you can stand back a little bit. But I think this is such a cool one for melee characters, like Wookiees especially, and even things like Tauntauns, where you can get from being deployed to being attacking people in like a turn and a half, like literally like one turn.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Well, and I think this deployment has secret mission written all over it.
Absolutely.
You're just so close to that enemy deployment already. It's super good. Moving on. We got Rollout. That's a fun one. It's pretty much Long March with a little bit of a extra bit put on one of the sides. But then you get to deploy vehicles at range 1 of the deployment zone. Yeah. So how do you think that is like really impactful for this particular deployment? Like vehicles at range 1, of course, sounds great, but like why not do that just as a condition? Why do you think it's important for the? I don't know. Does that make sense?
No, I totally get you. Like, why? What's the benefit of doing that? It depends on obviously 100% the objective, but a big thing about vehicles is like you use them almost as artillery pieces. I feel like that's how most people do it. And there is something that sucks about having a vehicle that has to move. Because like with speeder bikes, a big thing with speeder bikes is a lot of people will deploy them either further back or far forward, get there first, hit them hard, just do some damage to whittle people down, or have them catch up to your line at the right time. with this, I feel like this is more geared towards like your tanks, your ATS teams.
Oh, yeah.
Things where you can set up your artillery piece early to cover the board, so you maybe don't have to move very much. That's kind of how I see this being a huge benefit.
Yeah, that's true.
Your tank's there; it doesn't have to move very much. You can start doing things differently.
One of the biggest things that I found with the Saber class, that I'm sure is going to be the same problem with the AAT, it's so big. Like you're not going to if you put it behind your troops at all, like you're going to run through your troops and suppress them.
Yeah,
So like getting that out of the way and just being like up front where you probably should be.
Oh, that is nice. You can deploy them ahead.
Yeah. Well, and I struggle with Rex sometimes. Not as a character. Like his cards and everything are great, but with scouting party and with the tank, it's like why? Like I can't. Like I'm just gonna get in. Like the tank is in my way. Like I just can't. I don't know.
Well, it's funny because it's like with the snow speeder the other day. You had to deploy with this gap open.
Yeah.
Where you knew you're gonna place the speeder. Mm-hmm. And I kind of knew something was gonna go there. I just didn't know what.
Yeah.
So it kind of tells your opponent what you're gonna do because you have to plan for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that'll be super nice for the speeders. Imagine rollout with we did try rollout with bombing run, which we'll talk about here shortly. Yeah. But like double air speeders on something where vehicles get to go or double any vehicle really for bombing run. Oh man.
Well, imagine like the Gav or something where you can put like the Rebel speeder where you can put R2D2 on there. Oh, you're already closer and you can just drop them off for secret mission.
Okay, so that's a good point you bring up. So with that, the Gav, can it pick up somebody with, I can't remember if this was explicitly. Yeah, can they pick up, so the Gav can have a token. Can it pick up somebody with a token as well?
Oh, I hear you. That I don't know. But that's the hard part about bombing run is you have to be in the deployment zone to get a token.
Sure, but like what if it wasn't
if you're doing
rollout?
Like
what if it was somebody
R2D2,
else? Like, something else, yeah.
Oh, like if you wanted to get bounty on Boba and then pick him up and run or something.
Or well, just any sort of if they have a
like
victory
a
token or
something.
yeah, exactly. Could they pick them up?
I'll have to look into it. I'm not sure, but that would be really cool.
Yeah, guys, let us know definitely like in the comments like we'll look into it sure, but like definitely let us know. You want to go over bombing run, Matt?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll break it down. So bombing run after deployment step. Starting with the blue player, each friendly player places 3 claimed objective tokens in base contact with friendly unit leaders that are within that player's deployment zone. Each unit cannot have more than 1 claimed objective token. Also, each trooper unit gains the claim keyword, and all units gain the drop free action. So basically, just like summarizing it really quickly, at the end of the activation phase, each player can detonate 1 unclaimed token that was flipped to its unclaimed side with the drop ability. So you have to drop your own. You can't die and then explode it. You have to drop it yourself. But when you do, you get a triple red die blast suppressive surge crit weapon. Yeah. So it's cool. And you also get a victory point for each one you detonated within range 1 of an end zone. So like
I don't think we got a chance to do this last time when we did try this objective. What do you think? My mind instantly goes to like just putting them on just really tanky units that don't shoot well, and then just letting them run. Even if they barely make it in the deployment, you just drop it. Okay, they die, but you got an objective point. Like, do you think that's going to be a good strategy we're going to see, or do you think that's not worth it?
Well, I'm thinking like
putting your eggs in one
Wookiees,
basket sort of situation.
Well, think like, it's interesting because you've got like more than one set of Wookiees, for example, who do that. Mm-hmm. That's really good. But also, if you've got Tauntauns who can just run speed 3 and get there, tank the hits, it's kind of interesting too that you could potentially set it up to be like Sabine's bombing runs.
Oh yeah.
So maybe you're not even using it for points; you're using it just to kill units.
Interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just deny them, and then like Rebels, for example, get secret mission, or Empire gets bounty to like break the tie. That's just something that I really like about all these objectives. Honestly, it's like it's more of this like underlying. There's like we've talked about this before, but like there's like this underlying characters in the game that I'm like, ooh, like those could be good, but with what's like available for objectives wise, they're just not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like I feel like these deployments are like soft buffs to those kind of characters, like Wookiees. B2s are already really good, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I actually thought B2s would be really cool just because you've got that armor keyword.
Yeah.
and you've got a lot of health. The hard part is if you're moving a lot, you're probably not in cover. And droid troopers don't get benefits from suppression. So, there is. I will say this: out of all vital assets, I think droids benefit the least.
Okay.
I think straight up, I think they're the ones that are hurt the most from it. So I don't think you'll see a lot of droid players playing a bunch of this stuff. I think they'll like hemmed in. There's a lot of things about hemmed in. You might be right. Hemmed in might be the most interesting one.
Well, now hear me out. Droid commandos.
Yes. Oh.
Red saves, AI move.
That's actually not a bad idea. And you got red dice impervious. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Scale. That could be really good. You know what? Maybe that will change things for them.
Yeah.
Maybe they just don't have the units like they don't have their Wookiees. They don't have like dewbacks and things.
Well, ARC troopers with the jetpacks just being like, all right, see you next Tuesday.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
I think the Clone Wars factions, as far as like those units, are gonna make a big difference. Because other than that, I agree with you. Like, droids benefit from this the least. Clones can see some strong things out of these things, but I feel like there's no secret from both of us that I think the Rebels benefit from all these the most.
Best, yeah. Rebels and it's interesting. The good factions love vital assets. They really do. And Empire kind of.
Oh, you mean like good, like heroic? I was like
the light side. Yeah.
Are you sitting here now that you feel Rebels are better than Empire?
No, I'm sorry. No, just
I was
flat
like,
out.
oh yeah, they're good. I'm like, well, that's news to me.
That's hot take of the week for you right there.
They have good stuff.
They do, and like I have been playing a lot of Rebels, so I'm seeing some good options. I feel like I'm just totally misplaying the Rebels. I totally am, but
I feel
they have
that
some
way
really
every
good
day.
stuff.
I feel like I misplay everything all the time.
Kyle, so you've gone 5 games in a row winning. What's your plan? I don't know. I just misplay everything.
I just misplay enough to where my opponent doesn't know what to do. I just trap them.
Oh my gosh! That reminds me of this like World War II thing where it's so funny. They found the documents that were like how to treat people with the plans, and it's like the Japanese were like, you have to have a plan to do. They're talking about the Americans and the plan. They're like, you can't plan for the Americans because they have no plan.
Yeah.
And then it's an American general that's like, if we don't know what we're doing, there's no way the enemy can know what we're doing. That's how it feels sometimes.
It really do be like that. Hostage exchange. You want to go over that one too?
Yeah. Do you want me to read the card or just break it down real quick?
Just break it down. That's a lot of wordage.
It is a lot. We don't want to bore you guys. So real quick, basically, starting with blue player, you get a hostage token, and you start at the very center, and you do a speed 1 move away. Both people do that, red and blue. And then after that, you just kind of work your way back. You get a victory point for having a hostage at the end of the game, and having one inside your deployment zone gives you 2 instead of 1. Very interesting. You also can't detonate on turn 1, so I think you can start shooting them turn 1, right? Mm-hmm. But it's interesting that they just said no detonate. They probably had people in playtesting running up a Sabine. Or even like turn 1 being here's some bombs. Yeah. And that probably just takes all the fun out of it.
Well, also like it doesn't say it on this card, but on the hostage card itself, it specifies that this unit is now immune to enemy effects range at turn 1.
That's right.
Or something. And we'll come back to that in a minute as well. But there's a lot of things that they're immune to at the beginning of the game, and that's good. Yeah. It would be really boring if round 1 the game was already over.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I know we'll talk about all this stuff after we go over it, but I kind of want to come back to that one. I think that's super interesting one. And then here's another one we actually talked about. Well, we played this one today. We played it today. Yeah, is a payload. I think this is probably one of my favorite.
Oh yeah.
Out of the entire vital assets, it was so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Because it takes your game from being I'm going to kill you to being I got to protect this thing. Your army's more mobile than it is shooting. You have to choose to move over shoot.
I do feel like when we played this today, we played it on the worst possible.
Yeah.
I feel like that way with Bombing Run too. I feel like the deployment we went with was not ideal for the whole I got blue players, so I'll have a good advantage.
There was no clear advantage from
So we did hemmed in with this today. And payload, it's just like a video game, right? You got to escort a payload to a destination.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is that you pick your destination for your opponent. So that's nice.
It is. There is such a distinct advantage to having blue player go first with that. That's one that you don't take that unless you're bidding super hard.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And we'll come back to it, obviously, but do you want to break down the conditions?
Oh, yes. Yeah, let's do that. Well, supply drop. We've talked about that before. Real quickly summarize, though, you get a supply deck. You interact with the token, and you can do the free action for supply.
Draw 2,
Draw
discard
2.
1.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So you interact with it, and it gives you special cards.
They're actually really cool cards.
Yeah, we should probably just go into that now while we're here.
Jay, do we want to break it down?
So there's 8 cards in all, and you get 2 of each card. Back to capsules. Treat 1, capacity 1. So just like a Medroid, it's a free action. And I just realized too that's not exhaustible.
No, but it
capacity
is
one already. Yeah,
1. Like you're
that's
gonna
true.
get 1 use out of
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
But it's like you got your heavy unit. You don't want your heavy to die. Just bring it back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And then we got the
Welder.
Arc Welder, and that's the same as an Astromech.
I do want to bring this up. This is interesting because we've been talking about this. Like for the droids, how are you gonna get med droids? Like,
Yeah.
You can't do med droids for the droids. The Arc Welder here is specifically meant for vehicles and friendly droid troopers. So like, that's interesting. It's a way to start bringing droids back. I wonder if this is like a precursor to getting something that will bring back B1s or B2s.
Yeah, no, that'd be
Things like
awesome.
that.
And then camouflage, you gain low profile, which that's super nice. It's a one-time use. Yeah, I mean, straightforward. Any thoughts on that one?
It's good. I'm sure it'll have its uses. I just don't think it's the best one here.
Yeah,
But it's like a good one, not great.
like yeah, okay. So right away, like I think we can already say like there are some in here that like it is very situational, and if you get that card when you don't need it, it's like crap. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah, like it's nice that you can draw 2, but like there will be a time when you draw 2 and you're like, I don't want either.
Yeah. What about that next one?
Hollow projector.
Yeah, hollow projector. What do you think about that one?
This is actually probably one of my favorites, because that's just such a good thing during the issue orders phase. It does have an X, so it's a one-time use.
Yep.
It is discardable, but that's so nice to be able to pop that when you want and issue another order. And it's not you; it's also another unit. So let's say you play a 1-pip, but you really want to get somebody else out. You can issue to your commander, and then issue to somebody else. Like there are some times this is going to be extremely helpful.
That's true.
Very helpful.
Well, then we got Grapple Harpoon, which I think, I don't know. It's a free action. It's a one-time use, and until the end of the term, you gain scale. Again, this is, I feel like, maybe I'm in the wrong here, but I feel like this is super situational. What if you're playing on, like, a table that doesn't have a lot of high terrain, Maybe just, like, shorter line of sight blocking, or maybe even, let's be real, we play on a lot of tables where people set them up and there's, like, no line of sight blocking. There's no high terrain.
You're not going to use it.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting, too, where, like, think about your clones and stuff, or, like, a gun line where you set up. You're not going to use this because you're not moving that much. You already have a dedicated moving unit. But this is something where I could see, like, I feel like Rebels benefit from a lot of these, like, just generally.
True. Again, going back to our point.
To Rebels. Yeah, Rebels benefit.
Yeah. Precision scopes, though, that is pretty good.
Also, this one, exhaustible. Not disposable.
Yeah.
Or discardable.
So it's while performing a ranged attack during the attack roll dice, gain 1 aim token. So it's like Hunter, but exhaustible and better.
And if you're a rebel and you've got cards that let you recover for free, or Veers recover for free, I think this recovers. Isn't that right? Or is there a special rule where you can't?
I don't think so.
Yeah, because it's not got the X on it, so I think you just get it back. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as you have it. Same with Field Scanner, which is the next one. While defending against a ranged attack during the apply dodge and cover step, gain 1 dodge token. So
Your heroes, man. Your heroes want that.
Nimble. Rebels would love that.
Yeah. Oh, Rebels. Again, Rebels. Also, Jedi.
Yep.
Like, you don't need to take force. Well, yeah, take your
You
force
take your
reflexes.
force reflexes.
But it's just an extra dodge. And lastly, targeting rangefinder. While performing a ranged attack during the roll attack dice step, you gain marksman. That's really good.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. It's like, I thought Castian and Iden were just going to get that and run away with it.
Yeah.
But like, now anyone can get it. One-time use for sure. But, like, imagine having this and precision scopes. Like, I'm sure you have like if you don't use it, you hold on to it, right? So maybe just wait for a good time.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's interesting. Is Cassian and Ida, you get precision scopes. You're just getting a free aim token to use your marksman already.
or clones with tactical where they can share, like
Great.
yeah, that's
Cool.
awesome.
Love it.
Well, yeah, that's the boys for the supply deck. So that's that condition card. That's the battle card for the supply drop. How about fortified? That's a new one. Fortified precisions, positions. I just can't talk.
It's
Why
okay.
don't you take it away, Matt?
Okay. Let's break it down. So, basically, starting with the blue player, you alternate placing 8 barricades, just anywhere on the board. It has to be placed inside the deployment zone within range 1 to 2 of the deployment zone. So this is for your gun lines.
Yeah.
This is where you wanna set up. Maybe
Yeah.
you're gonna recon intel into it, but you're just gonna chill. You're gonna play that attrition game. Maybe lock down an objective.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've seen this before in skirmish. Like this is just the senior version of the skirmish one.
And I like how they have clones on the picture because the clones are gonna love that.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna love that.
And then War Weary, another one that's made its way from skirmish into the full game, reducing your range for your commander's courage value is reduced by 2 to a minimum of 1. So you have to be in range 1 to gain that courage value.
That's crazy.
So clones are okay.
Clones
now.
are okay. Yeah.
For now. Who doesn't like this?
Droids. My gosh, droids don't like this. Well, that's the one thing about droids. Like, they usually don't care about suppression. Like, okay, whatever. And you can let your commanders go do the damage they need to because you're not too worried. But suddenly you're worried a little bit. Your B1s start panicking off the board. You lose your whole army.
I think
Rebels might be another one.
Yeah.
Will they start to worry?
I think an ill-placed gun line, while if it's a well-placed gun line, you could work around this. But if you're going for a straight-up line across the board, I can shoot those edges.
Start panicking people.
Stormtroopers are gone, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess if you can start killing action economy that quickly, things change.
Phase 2s are going to love it, though.
Phase 2s are... Dude, Phase 2s. I actually was thinking about that. B2s as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's really interesting.
Yeah, because Courage 2 on them, too.
It's really interesting that I feel like Vital Assets was meant to... I don't want to say nerf the Empire, but in a lot of ways, it brings other teams up to where the Empire is. So I feel like you won't see a lot of Empire players bringing these necessarily. Maybe you'll see a couple.
Yeah.
Like Danger...
Hemmed in, I think, for deployment.
Danger Close, probably. Anything where they can get their gun line set up. Well, maybe not even... Not Danger Close, because you can't... There's just not enough space to deploy everybody line.
Right. Well,
there's not.
And if I panic you, you're right there. Sorry, you're gone. Like you're gonna panic off the board. So I say I have clones with critical or suppressive, like.
I actually was thinking about that because, like, get this with so something about panicking people off the board, because we ended up playing yesterday. We played Hostage Exchange Danger Close. Well, you're gonna run with your hostage to a board edge, right? So if you start to panic that hostage, you're just panicking them closer to your opponent's deployment zone. So like you don't really care.
Yeah.
So that's one.
That's a good point.
You see what I'm saying? You can't really panic them off the board unless you panic them the whole way. You panic them far enough, they're in the deployment zone. They get double points. So there's this idea of like you want to just kill them rather than panicking them if you're playing Danger Close and Hostage Exchange. But it's not always going to work out that way.
Okay, so Cassian's card can give Danger Sense to anyone, right?
Yeah, Danger Sense 1 to the people issued orders to.
Yeah, so let's say, and this is kind of going off of the Hostage Exchange thing still. Is it a good idea to give them suppression right away with Danger Sense? Well, I guess if say that unit has duck and cover, right? Danger Sense, is that a strong move, or do you think the encouragement of retaining suppression is ultimately bad?
Oh, I see what you mean. It's interesting because
this is a super edge case, I know, but the thought crossed my mind.
I think taking suppression as much as you can is great for that person. Because it says core trooper units. So you got to think who are your core trooper units. They're gonna have probably Courage 1 all around.
Yeah.
Unless you're taking like clones and droids, which can take Courage 2 people. But yeah, it's super edge case. But depending on the unit, I think you want suppression. I think you want a lot of suppression because even if you're getting panicked, you're still running
Right,
backwards.
like you said. Yeah.
And let's say you do get panicked off the board. I think the way panicking off the board with objectives is you drop the token. So you might lose that unit, but all you have to do is run back and claim the hostage in your deployment zone.
That'll be interesting.
So as long as you're already working towards your deployment zone at your board edge, you should be fine. It's not always going to work, but you should be fine. It just takes somebody who is not going to panic. Well, maybe that is going to panic but not get killed.
Yeah.
And just take the suppression, man,
That's a good point.
because you're not going to worry.
I wonder if that is how it works out.
So yeah.
Like because you still got me thinking about they're not escorted, but they're still in your deployment zone. So
You just have to claim them.
Yeah.
But if you claim them, you immediately get 2 points.
Huh.
Well, at least at the end of the game. So
Interesting.
it's a real edge case, but I think what you did against me is the best. To hunt the hostage with somebody like Luke.
Oh yeah.
Hunt the hostage with your Sabines. Do people that move quickly and can just do a lot of damage. Or just kill them. Yeah.
Yeah, in that game I had half the mind to just take the hostage and just start running away. Take both of them. These are mine now. You can't have them.
You stole my princess.
Yeah.
Back to your castle.
Your princess is an Nemoidian.
One of those hot Pantoran blue skin aliens.
You
I'm just
love to
kidding.
see it. You love to see
gosh.
it. Pantora. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit with the deployment or with the conditions, but I kind of want to go back to the objectives. Bombing run. Who do you think hates that? Who do you think loves that? Let's start with hate.
Loves bombing run. Well,
All right. Oh, love. Yeah. Who do you think loves bombing run?
I really think clones like bombing run because
Yeah.
barks are good. Barks can
Yeah.
accomplish that really quickly. I kind of think everybody but droids. Does that make sense?
You're really.
I
hung up
hate
on
to say that, but
you're really. Hung
I
up on that.
know, but it's just as a droid player, dude, you're not gonna do that. You're not going to your opponent's deployment zone,
No.
except if you've got Grievous and Dooku, and then
That's true.
So I feel like they're as much as Empire's not mobile, droids are just not mobile. Maybe once they get stabs, that could change things.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Maybe even droid commandos could change those things. But I think anybody who has speeder bikes.
Yeah.
So I really gotta hand this one to Rebels probably.
Yeah.
Rebels
I think
is
you're
probably
right.
my bet.
100%. Yeah, I think you're right. What you said earlier, I think the only real big loser out of all these, unfortunately, is Empire.
It is the droids and Empire.
Droids and Empire. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Because at least Empire could take bikes for it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because there is something to be said, like you said earlier, about taking high power units, high health units, who don't mind taking a few hits and walking forward.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and speaking of walking forward, that's another point I wanted to make is that all these objectives, how many times have I complained that this game is too stationary?
All the time.
Yeah, we get to somewhere and we just shoot. No matter what faction, eventually it just comes down to all right, can I kill you faster? Don't get me wrong, I'm having a blast. Of course, we wouldn't be making a podcast if I didn't like the game. But I'm just being man, I really wish there was something to encourage moving faster or moving more.
And that really gets you to that attrition game where it's red dice saves become so much more because you're focused on killing.
Yeah.
Well, what if you're not focused on killing? Maybe you don't worry so much.
Right. Well, in today's game, I did set up, and we talked about this earlier. I kind of set it up like Imperial Gunline to kind of see if my 4Z6 squads were gonna be good at that, and it got to the point where I'm like, crap, I have to move, or else he's just gonna get that payload to its destination no problem, because there's all this line of sight blocking with those huge crates in the way, and I was like, I can't just stay here, I have to move, and I liked it. I liked that a lot.
Yeah. It definitely creates variety. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Hemmed In? Because that's one that I really want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I feel like you want to talk about that too.
I feel like Hemmed In is a catch-22.
Yes.
For example, let's say I get today I got payload. I'm blue player, right? Red player automatically has to work. I'm trying to simplify this even more. Hemden is something that you probably will force to make yourself comfortable as a red player, if that makes sense, or a blue player.
Or as
you
blue
know?
player, yeah.
Like oh, I know my opponent's going to go for this, so as blue player, I'm going to go for Hemden to kind of like force, the objectives to be closer to me, because you're starting in the middle pretty much, and if they go all on one side, they're missing out on the other objective on the other side. So that's super decent. I don't know, like. I still, even because we just finished our game not even like an hour ago.
Yeah,
so
not even.
I'm still thinking about it, but overall, like, I feel like Hemden is like the one where it's like, all right, I can live with this, and I'll actually, like, no matter the objective, like, this will really benefit me.
Absolutely, and it's so weird to think about it because there are objectives that red player will benefit so much more.
Yeah.
Intercept is one of those.
Yeah.
Intercept is one of them. Recover the supplies, not probably not so much because the center supply will go to the blue.
Yeah.
Anything where there's a center objective, it'll probably be blue player, but like red player has a lot to do as well.
Yeah. Sabotage, red player would be way better at.
Yeah, that's actually a good thing. Payload is one that I thought was super interesting with it because as red player, you're immediately forced to do at least one extra move to get to where you need to be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Blue player will deploy in the middle with it, and they just have to go left or right.
Yeah.
Red player, depending on where you go, the opponent's going to put on the exact opposite side of the board, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks that way, but you can do it. Like you did it today.
Yeah.
You did pretty well, but
Well,
even after 6 turns, you could only get to range 2 of that objective. We did the math. That was as close as you could have gotten.
Well, and you treat the cart as terrain, right?
Yes.
So theoretically, a small boy like R2 can run line of sight blocking the whole way through.
That's true. If he can keep up with it, because that goes speed. I guess he can because it's speed 2, and he's a speed.
Just go last. Just go with him last every turn.
The cart starts to outrun him. I guess if you blast off, you're fine.
Yeah.
But
no, that's true. That's probably not a good idea. Actually,
you may want him to start ahead of the cart, so the cart slowly edges ahead of him. If that makes sense.
Yeah, but at the same time, too, it's like...
I guess you just have to rearrange one of the cart.
Yeah.
So you could do it, but, like, it'll be funny to see R2, like,
gonna be hard to
racing
line
the
up.
cart
Yeah.
and slowly start losing the race.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, no.
And then if you have 3PO, that's all out of the door. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Danger close. We talked about Empire is probably going to like that, if anything. Roll out anything with vehicles, we thought, Hostage exchange, going back to objectives. Who do you think is going to really like hostage exchange?
Oh, gosh. I actually would give this one again to the Rebels.
Yeah, boy.
I think Sabine. Well, it's interesting because, I think Sabine gets out there fast. Luke gets out there fast. Does a lot of damage. Because I played it with a Jin list with the Rebels against you. And Infiltrate was great. But the hostage thing immediately kills your range 3 infiltrate bubble.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, okay, it doesn't help that much. But, man, I could see Boba coming back for this a little bit.
Can you go in, because you said that before and you explained it to me, but I want our viewers at home to realize the magnitude of that statement.
This is a big one. Because, we've been talking about, this is actually something that's coming up in the community. As people ask us, who's better, Bosk or Boba? We actually had a guy come in the other day who just started playing. We get that question all the time. And I always say Bosk. Always. Because it's just, when you're in a meta that's killing each other, you're going to go pick Bosk. You're going to get the range. With hostage exchange, you have to be in the middle. So the way it's going to happen is you're probably going to have your opponent pick their hero or their attacker unit to go up and hunt down the hostage. They're going to run to the center quick to get there, kind of like Sabine does with the boxes. Yeah. And the best counter for that is to take Boba, bounty whoever the hero is they pick. So let's say they've got Luke Leia or Sabine Leia. Sabine and Luke are going to come at you. They're going to try to kill your hostage and let their hostage run away. So you pick Boba, bounty that hero, that operative, and then when they get up close, just move Boba up close. He's not necessarily there to hunt their hostage, but he's there to stop their hero. Because if you get their hero, you can kill their hero, run away with your hostage, and you win by 1 victory point. It's really good. It's really good.
That speed. You really,
That speed 3 helps.
Yeah. And I like how you brought up Sabine earlier, too, because I feel like we're going to... I roll my eyes when I say this. We're going to see more of her. Not because I don't like her. I love Sabine. I love her, but I feel like that's like one of the only people I see people play with comfortably, Like she's just so universal.
You don't bring Rebels without Sabine.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because I love Han and Chewie. Maybe they're not the greatest, yeah, but like I like their models. They have cool gimmicks. Like Uncanny Luck is fun,
It's fun.
So
yeah. His command cards are a lot of fun.
Yeah. So yeah, Sabina will be good at this. Boba, I think you're right. Boba will be good. I think I think I'm gonna say it. I think Wookiees will also be good at this because if someone dies, the Wookiees can pick it up and run.
I agree.
Unhindered, indomitable.
Like if you
would you like another movement keyword?
Right. Well, it's funny because you're talking about their training slots.
Oh yeah.
And that's actually such a cool thing to do, the endurance duck and cover thing.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, like I do roll whites, but maybe I can give myself heavy cover or extra cover if I need to. There's things you can do.
Yeah.
There's things you can do.
I think the inclination is be like, oh, Hunter Tenacity, of course.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then you're going to charge someone and you're going to die. Because they're not going to handle someone. They're not going to handle, like, especially with the characters coming out, they're not going to be able to handle an Iden. If they're not going to be able to charge an Iden without Iden lighting them up with her, repeater blaster and suppressive droid.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, guys.
Sorry. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like Wookiees, the more I play them, the more I'm like, they're not what they should be, which is like diet tauntauns. They're very much like B2 battle droids.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. But Spec Ops instead of core units. Why? Oh, why?
Yeah. Seriously, that's a good question.
The furballs got.
They did. Well, it's interesting because I felt like danger close was not bad for them.
No.
Because you deploy range 3 of each other, and that's not that far. Melee units can get there in 2 turns. So your Wookiees, they have enough health.
So maybe they can do that now, yeah.
Yeah, they have enough health that they'll get there to your front line. But it'll take 2 turns. But if you last first with them, they can soak up some hits. And if they're shooting your Wookiees, they're not shooting everything else. So maybe this is a chance for, like, I don't know, if you do danger close, hemmed in, and, I don't know, major offensive maybe, there is a chance that maybe you can take Wookiees to support, like, an Op Luke or a Commander Luke or something.
Yeah.
Now, that's just an idea. That's a theory craft. That's a hot take.
Take?
Take?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like we can't just think of just these 9 cards because, we already have, like, 4 cards of each. 5 total? Yeah, 5 total that we could use right now of each. So this is making it 8 total cards. So likely that these cards aren't going to get used together, which I think is a very interesting discussion too. Like we talked a little bit before about intercept transmissions being good with hemmed in. Like if you're a red player, like super good advantage there. Rollout probably. Actually, no. I don't know if I do see a rollout advantage with any other things that we have right now.
Other like current objectives and stuff. Maybe recover. Maybe recover the supplies. Things where recover the supplies. If you've got more vehicles and you're deploying closer to the box, you're just putting a lot more pressure on that center box.
Sure.
So whoever goes to pick it up is gonna get aced.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got a tank, like you've got an AT-AT, like an AAT.
Oh yeah.
Or like a saber tank that's sitting there, like at range 2 to 3 of you, you're gonna get hit really
hard.
And
imagine the sorrow you'll feel if you're like, if you didn't bring a tank and they did and they got rollout.
Exactly.
Any objective, it's like, oh, crap.
You're like, well, I guess I've got these 2 boxes. What do I do?
Yeah.
That is super interesting. And then like sabotage. I guess. Well, the cool thing about Sabs is maybe you place just right outside the deployment zone, and then there's things, but I think once these things get mixed in with what we already have, we'll start to see things kind of cohere together.
Yeah, well,
You're right.
I think that's about it for Vital Assets. Any concluding thoughts on Vital Assets, Matt?
I'm super excited for it.
I'm
really bummed it got delayed. But
I think that's just the heartbreak of this whole situation. Not aside from like people actually dying. I'm not talking about that. I just mean like with FFG, like on their side alone, it's just it breaks my heart that we have like so much good stuff we've been excited for so long, and it just keeps getting pushed back, and it's unfortunate. But I'm glad people are staying safe. That's the big deal. You got to remain positive, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like these Vital Assets was needed like a year ago.
Yeah, yeah, at least like 6 months ago, like with Clone Wars. But
but at least it's coming. I'm not going to complain too much.
Oh,
like we're never going to stop playing this game.
No, and I'm excited to see what new units are made to work with what we have objective-wise. It'll be so cool.
Yeah. Well, freaking dude, imagine Snaps. We talked about Snaps. A multi-mini speeder bike, cover 1, just running bombing run. It's like they're super cheap. I don't care if they die. They're straight
suicide bombers, literally.
Like
kamikazes.
You should make a list of just Staps and then like.
Just Staps and B1s.
Staps and B1s and call it Pearl Harbor.
Oh my gosh! Oh, wow! Oh gosh.
Well, I agree though. Like I think that Vital Assets is probably going to be fun. I'm sad it's delayed, but without further ado, I guess it's time for our next segment, which is Double Vision. Double Vision this week, Matt.
A little bit of a fun one. We kind of wanted to take shots in the dark, hot takes, if you will, as to when we'll be able to play Legion again.
Yeah.
I hate to say it that way because like you and I already are playing, but
well, we are practicing social distancing.
We very much are. We're 6 feet away right now at the table.
Yeah.
When will our communities be able to play again? Is the question.
Well, if it gets any worse in Salt Lake or Utah in general, it'll be a while, let me tell you.
Yeah.
But, they have a plan that's going to take them till like at least August.
Dude, I would hate to have to wait that long, but it really could be.
Yeah.
I guess if you're,
Yeah, well, I don't know if we'll be prohibited from playing that long. At least like till May, though, if it gets any worse, which is sad. Man, this is hard. Like I hope, like if I'm making a prediction, like I hope that we can play again by June.
Agreed.
Any day now, like we could be told, hey, it's shelter in place, and that means we can't do a podcast in person anymore. We can't play together. It's just really discouraging to not only like have your job affected, but then have your hobby be affected too.
I think that's the worst part too, because that's such a psychological thing of, well, I guess I could have done this, but now you can't even do your hobby where you stay at home and play with friends. Like you can't do that.
I mean, you can paint. That's nice.
That's true. I swear, if this is not just to like people here in Utah, but like across the world, man, get your painting done. Like you will never have a better opportunity in your life to paint. And
if I hear any of you saying like I don't have enough, I never have enough time, it's like, dude, you had Corona.
Bullshit.
You had Corona. Like not particularly you did not have Corona necessarily, but
you had time. Time. That's such a bullcrap thing.
But
I'm gonna put my money on May 4th.
Hey,
Star Wars Day. I think that is
do
the
a
time.
big hoo-bob about it.
We should. Like I don't know. It's interesting because I know people will be like TTS. You can play on TTS.
Yeah, I don't like TTS.
I don't.
It's a different feeling.
I actually tried it this last week, and something about being there with your opponent, the social aspect, seeing their cards, talking about the decisions. I know you can do that over headset, but
well, I'll tell you
the tactileness of being able to feel the minis, it's so different.
The big reason why I don't like Tabletop Simulator, dice.
The die. Oh, same.
I don't. It's not satisfying at all to play a game where a computer just automatically flips a picture over. Like I want the tactile feel of rolling dice.
Yes.
I don't know. Call me crazy.
And like I
also bake my dice, so.
Oh, that explains a lot. Yeah. Well, I was using your dice today and I still lost.
Yeah.
So. With your baked dice.
We did have some crazy hits going.
On both sides.
Yeah.
On both sides.
We were hard hitting.
I will say this. This is like Matt being a conspiracy theorist, but like there is something to holding the dice. Like I know people say it's random, but I've told you this before. It's not random. The science is minuscule. The way your dice are weighted, the way you're holding the dice, the friction, the way the angle, the speed, the velocity.
Hold on. Can you hold that thought while I get my tinfoil hat on?
You want to make mine for me too? Yeah. But like, I don't know. There's something about it where it's like the way you're doing it, the way you throw it. I'm sure that it's already predetermined.
Yeah.
Like there is some science, I'm sure, about it where because of that, the dice results in that order, but there's no way to possibly control those things. So you just have to call it quote unquote random and uncontrollable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm with you. It's not that, like you said, it's nothing we can control. But
Yeah.
it's something that a computer sure can't.
It's to the thing where it's like 0.0000 to the infinite zero.
I feel
0.1
right.
change.
I feel
But
like
it does
when
happen.
we refer to the quote unquote dice gods, we're really referring to the science of it.
Yeah.
It's like the dice gods giveth and the dice gods taketh away. Well, the air friction took it away.
yeah. The fact that there's another person in the room.
Yeah.
Away. Yeah. Just
The person that walked by created a little draft.
Bro, your dice are drafting each other, kind of like in Need for Speed.
Oh,
draft
no.
cars. No, and that's just Matt putting his tinfoil hat on. Call me crazy, but like obviously, does it affect it entirely? No, but they're just. You're right.
Yeah.
Rolling digital dice is not the same.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We say May 4th. I actually retract mine and I say yes to that. I
Really?
agree. May the 4th. I would just love that to be able to come back and like on the May 4th being like, yep, we're playing Legion.
Yeah.
So Adepticon is canceled, right? Do we know what's gonna? This is Star Wars related, not
There is,
not Legion particularly.
There is on Thursday.
Yeah,
Which
there's a stream.
for you guys listening was yesterday.
Yeah.
Is a stream
So tomorrow. For us.
For us.
So we're time travelers, in case you guys didn't know.
We're backwards time.
So
travelers.
4 o'clock on Thursday.
We're slow travelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be sure to give our thoughts on Discord for the meantime, and then next week, I'll tell you straight up, guys. Like if we do get a shelter in place, we will try our hardest. But like, there may not be an episode. Like, we'll figure out something at least for like Discord. Maybe it'll be lower quality, but we'll figure out something to at least try. If it doesn't happen, we will make it up to you somehow with extra content later. But we just can't. Like, we don't know how this is gonna affect everything. Who knows? We could have another earthquake and then our power's out. You know.
Like, yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, so we just know that we guys we are thinking about next week and like how that's going to affect the podcast. The plan is to keep it going somehow, some way. So, I think that's pretty much it for us, though. Matt, did you have any concluding thoughts?
No, just guys, go paint those minis. Like,
Yeah,
go do
paint
it.
them. Yep.
Get it done.
Yeah. Actually, I have one more question for you.
Oh yeah.
If you were on a desert island with a Nemoidian female, but he looked exactly like a male, would you